Hello students, we'll discuss about application of carbon nanotube in various fields like field emission and shielding, in computers, as fuel cells, chemical sensors, catalysis, and mechanical reinforcement. So the first one we are going to see is how carbon nanotube helps in field emission and shielding. So if carbon nanotube is supplied with an electric field along the axis, it will emit the electrons. So this is called field emission, and we make use of this property in the construction of display units. Like if you have two metal electrodes and say a nano composite, a paste of carbon nanotube is pasted onto the one electrode, and we are applying a potential or electric field. So that will cause the emission of electrons from the nanotubes, and this principle is used in the construction of flat panel display and also in the vacuum tube labs to generate the microwaves. And you know, if a material is highly conducting, it will act as a shielding. Like you would have heard, the car is a wonderful metals are best conductors of electricity, but when you are inside a car, it acts as a hollow sphere, so which means it will conduct away all the electricity falling on it, and it will not affect the materials that is inside the sphere. So similarly, you can consider carbon nanotube as a highly conducting material. So it will be acting as a poor transmitter of electromagnetic energy, and hence it will shield off the electromagnetic energy, and that is very much necessary in this digital era, because you know many of the communications are happening in the electromagnetic region, and hence you require in the shielding of electromagnetic energy in strategic areas like military areas and all. Okay, and one of this, so as we just mentioned, field emission can be used as in the construction of display unit, and this is the prototype given by Samsung using carbon nanotube field emission display units, which is called FED. Okay, like LCD or LED units, you could have carbon nanotube field emission displays. And the next application is in the computer. So what is the application? What is the purpose of any material in a computer? We require to have a much higher response, as well as we prefer to have a miniature size. So for that, for increase the processing speed, we should have more number of switches. So how could we have more number of switch? We must reduce the size of each switch. So, and also we must also decrease the diameter of interconnecting wires. Okay, so we always try to have smaller switches and smaller diameter interconnecting wires to have faster response of the computer device. So carbon nanotube can be used for this. It can act as a switch if it perform as a field effect transistor. We have discussed in while we discussed the electrical property of carbon nanotube, that carbon nanotube can conduct or can be made as a switch. Okay, can be controlled when it works as a field effect transistor. So here you have two electrodes, source and drain, and carbon nanotube is there, and there is a gate, and giving the potential to the gate, we can control what is the flow between the source and the drain. So this is called field effect transistor. So you could make a carbon nanotube as a switch. Okay, so what is the advantage? Any small gate voltage can change the conductivity through the tube by 10 raised to 6 times, 1 million times you can increase the conductivity. Okay, so faster switching speed will be obtained, almost like 10,000 times faster than the um, current setup, and smaller size of the carbon nanotube, it is in the nanometer range, and hence more number of switches can be on a chip. So that will decrease the size of the chip as well as increase the number of switches per unit area, so which again increase the response. Okay, now what about the interconnecting wires? We should have smaller diameter interconnecting wires also. So the answer to that is carbon nanotube can serve as switch as well as interconnects. Like carbon nanotube has to only 2 nanometer diameter, or it would be in the 2 nanometer diameter. So, and also it has extremely low resistance, and hence it can carry large amount of current, and it has high thermal conductivity. So it itself can serve as heat sinks, which means water being heat generated in case due to the large current will be conducted away by the carbon nanotube itself. Okay, so that these qualities like high electrical conductivity and high thermal conductivity enable the carbon nanotube to work as interconnects. So you can think of a computer which consists of both the switch as well as the interconnect made up of carbon nanotube itself. So here you have a picture of that where you have interconnected carbon nanotubes. So this represents an open switch where there is no contact between the carbon nanotube underlying and the upper one, and this one is a closed switch, which means it is in contact and the current will be passing through. And this carbon nanotube arrays are made on an insulator. Okay, so it can act as a field effect transistor by giving a potential at the gate. You could make it work. Okay, so that is how the setup is made up of. You could see if it is in contact, you'll have a closed switch, and otherwise it is an open switch. So you could have almost like 10 raised to 12 elements, 12 switches per centimeter square, and the current technology has only 10 raised to 8 switches per centimeter square. So you can see how much a better packing is there in a carbon nanotube made computers, and which can provide a faster processing time, almost like 100 gigahertz, which is 100 times faster than the present technology. Okay, so that is about the second application, that is switches and interconnects in computer. And the third application is in fuel cells. Due to the high surface area of the carbon nanotube, it can act as a storage for fuel cells like lithium storage, hydrogen storage, etc. So you can see for single carbon, that is a ring of carbon, hexagonal ring, it can store up to 1 lithium. Okay, so similarly it can also be used for hydrogen storage also. So where you can see the cathode and anode is connected. So at the anode, what will happen? The hydrogen will be ionized, and due to the ionization, the electrons will be passed through the external circuit, while at the cathode, because the hydrogen is positively charged, it will be passing to the cathode, and at the cathode it will be converted into water. So that is how you'll get due to the storage of hydrogen in the carbon nanotube in the anode, it will be ionized, and during the ionization electron will be passing through the external circuit, so you'll get the current through the, it's like a battery, and what is the end product? The end product is water. So that is how hydrogen fuel cells are used for. It could act as a source of hydrogen to be stored in carbon nanotube using electrochemical cells. So in the future you can think of hydrogen fuel cell cars using this technology, and another one is paper battery, which can function as both as a lithium ion battery as well as a supercapacitor. It is very lightweight, as you can see, and very thin, flexible, and can function at a wide range of temperature. So all these will be bagging the market soon. And the next application is carbon nanotube can act as chemical sensor to detect some chemicals like oxygen, nitrogen dioxide, then ammonia, etc. It can the advantages that it can detect even very small concentrations like ppm of these gases. And how do you know that these gases have been detected? You can see a threefold increase in the conductance of carbon nanotube in the presence of these gases. So how does that happen? That is, if you have a, a flask with an inlet and outlet to pass the gas. So what happens once a gas passes through, the carbon nanotube which is lying on the bottom of the flask will show an increase in conductivity. Why? Because the electrons are given to the nitrogen dioxide. So this will increase the Hall concentration in the carbon nanotube and thereby shows increase in conductance. And also another thing is that you can also observe a shift in frequency of one of the normal mode vibration which gives strong Raman line. So we have already mentioned that carbon nanotube in their vibrational property they have two normal modes and they are Raman active, and the mode which is giving strong Raman spectral line will show a shift in frequency, and the shift will what is the amount of shift involved and what is the direction, whether it is shifting towards a higher frequency side or the lower frequency side, will give us an idea of what kind of molecule is sensed by the carbon nanotube. So that is the fourth application. And the next one is how catalysis will be affected by carbon nanotube. And what do you mean by catalysis or catalyst? Catalyst is anything which can enhance the rate of a reaction. So carbon nanotube with ruthenium shows hydrogen, it catalyzes the hydrogenation reaction of cinnamaldehyde, and you can also do reactions inside the carbon nanotube like reduction of nickel oxide to nickel, aluminum chloride to aluminum, molybdenum trioxide into molybdenum dioxide. All these show better and faster reduction process. And also you could have cadmium oxide plus another reactions, not only the reduction, and the reactions can also be very well at a faster rate. It could be worked in reacted inside the carbon nanotube. And the last application we are going to look is the mechanical reinforcement done by the carbon nanotube. So there are three things you need to keep in mind whenever you choose a candidate or choose a material as a candidate for mechanical reinforcement. The first thing is that the tensile strength of the fiber. It should have a better length to diameter ratio to make it as a candidate for mechanical reinforcement. And also the third property is that it must be able to bind with the matrix, whatever be the matrix which it is going to increase the mechanical strength, it must be able to bind properly. So these are the three things a fiber should have to act as a better mechanical reinforcement agent. What are they? Tensile strength must be higher, length to diameter ratio must be higher, and it must have high ability to bind to the matrix. So let us check all these for a carbon nanotube. You already know carbon nanotube has the highest tensile strength. And what about the length to diameter ratio? Length is in micrometer range and diameter is in nanometer range. So it is like 10 raised to minus 6 over 10 raised to minus 9. So almost like 1000 times is the length to diameter ratio. So it is a better ratio to act as a mechanical reinforcement. And the third one is ability to bind with the matrix. And it can be seen that about 11.5% of carbon nanotube added to the polypropylene polymer has shown double increase in tensile strength of the polypropylene. Similarly, 5% of nanotube added with aluminum has shown again doubling of the tensile strength of the aluminum. Theoretically, about 10%, even 10% can multiply the tensile strength of the material by 6 times, but practically it is not obtained because these nanotubes slide with respect to each other in multi-walled nanotube, and if you are using single wall nanotube, these will carbon nanotube will slip about the matrix, so that will decrease the tensile strength compared with the theoretical value. Nevertheless, you will get a better tensile strength in the presence of these nanotube. Okay, only thing is that it will be just slightly lower than what is theoretically expected. So carbon nanotube has atomically smooth surface, so there is no such stronger interface interaction between the material being reinforced, but the strong bonds with iron, it already has iron as a catalyst in the synthesis process. So the presence of iron, which is a main constituent in steel, you can see 7 times increase in tensile strength is seen for 30% of carbon nanotube added to the steel. Okay, so these are the applications we have seen about carbon nanotube, and hopefully you can see carbon nanotube is looked upon as a material for space elevator also. Thank you.